What's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be talking about our pun person, Freddy Krueger. We're gonna be ranking every single one of his movies and so on. Now, I have made a YouTube short about this. Now, most of them stay the same, most of them, but two has changed because I rewatched every single one of these before this ranking, and boy, even though every single movie is in the same spot, pretty much except for two, my opinions don't change about most of them. Some I actually do like a lot more than I remember, but yeah. So shout out to my grandma. She got me this like a fucking year ago, but shout out to her anyways. So let's get to it. Smells good. Smells like shit. Just scratch that. That's kind of fun, actually. Now that I think of it. What? I blew up somebody's ear? Whatever. Alright, guys. Let's get into the ranking. Coming in at number 9. Oh, before I start this, actually, I don't have Freddy vs. Jason in here. Only because I added it with the Friday the 13th one. So, I believe I did. If that's the case, it'd still be number 1, because that's my favorite horror movie of all time. Let's start this rank. Coming in at number 9. 8, since I'm not counting it. Coming in at one of the worst fucking horror movies I've ever seen. I'm not gonna take too long on this one, trust me. It's Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Guys, I'm glad this wasn't The Final Nightmare, because a horror icon would have fucking died. I just felt like some of these movies just got so ridiculous, and I was hoping that this one, I was actually hoping that this was The Final Nightmare, and I had so much anticipation and excitement for it. And boy, was this movie just fucking terrible. Oh my. Oh, some of these movies are just straight up fucking awful, alright? After the first one, it's just, they're all bad. I can't believe they made a franchise of them. There are good ones, but there aren't many. It's like the Friday the 13th franchise. But anyway, this movie's pacing is terrible. Its dialogue is awful. Characters are awful. Don't care about them. And the way that they took a horror icon and changed this origin story, kind of, and added more to it, made the franchise so much more complex. Wasn't needed, especially at its final, its final movie. What it needed was fucking Nancy, the lady from the first movie, if she was still alive, to fight him in a one-on-one battle. That's just The Final Nightmare to me. Just the OG and the fucking horror icon that started it all. They should be the one in the movie starring, because that's just how finales go. That's why Halloween Ends didn't work that well. Even though I do like that movie. Comment if you guys want to see a Halloween ranking. Anyway, guys, there's no fun with Freddy's Dead. This movie is just fucking bland, boring, and it's stupid. It literally, there's this one fucking part where Freddy's like, it just gets too over the top and goofy. Like, it tries to be dark one moment, and then the other time Freddy is literally playing with his fingernails in a video game, trying to kill someone. It's just so stupid. Yeah, I cannot forgive this movie for giving Freddy Krueger one of the worst fucking deaths imaginable. Such a disrespect to this character. They built up so much legacy, and they fucked it up within one movie. Coming in at number 7. All right, this is one. This is one that switched on these next two. Freddy 5, basically Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Guys, I was so close to putting this in last place. These movies are both fucking terrible. But the slight reason why this got above is because I feel like there's more things to enjoy in this movie than Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Dead was so bland, it didn't have life to it. This one at least tries. Like, it at least tries. I don't think it knows that it's bad. It's trying to tell a serious story, but it just doesn't work. And, guys, I swear to God, I had head trauma after watching this movie, because I don't like to shit on kid acting. I really don't. And that kid is a great actor now, actually. He was in fucking Jurassic Park, but The Dream Child... I don't, like I said, I don't like shitting on kid actors, but boy, it was bad. It was just bad. I'm sorry. It was terrible, you know, and I understand, you know, he's a fucking kid, can't help it. But some of the acting is just really bad in this movie. It's not worse than Freddy's Dead, but they tried to convolute another plot line about this demon child, and I think this could have worked, actually. I think this movie could have worked, like its plot, right, of bringing Freddy Krueger back, because at this point in the franchise, like, the franchise was already so convoluted with its 5th freaking movie, and they kept on trying to find useless and, like, fucking ways to bring Freddy back that made absolute zero sense. The second one I give credit for, because that was creative of how they brought him back, and it shows that they were just running out of ideas for the franchise. And that's why from here, like, my hope for the franchise was just like, oh fucking god, do I really want to watch the next movie? Like, this movie's cringy. The dialogue is just as bad as Freddy's Dead. And don't even get me started on Super Freddy, because that was just fucking... Or is that Freddy's Dead? I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't even remember, guys. That's all fucking just... Oh my god. Now, I gotta say, one good thing at least about this movie, like I said, there's little parts that are more enjoyable than Freddy's Dead, and that was the stairway scene where they got very creative with some of the scenes. The gore is also actually really good. I'm not gonna lie. It's super good. But the way they just executed this film was not good at all. And it is, like I said, it's a good idea to bring Freddy Krueger back because of this unknown child. Like, that could actually work, but the way it was just, like, executed, it was dog shit. It's really what it was. Coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Now, I remember first watching this franchise. I've watched the first one, okay? And I had no fucking idea that there were sequels. I thought it was just Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, that's it. I had no idea there was Freddy 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever you want to call it, all the way till fucking 9. And when I heard this, I'm like, shit, I didn't fucking know that? What? And I just was like, okay, well, I gotta watch these. So I watched them on an illegal movie site. I don't fucking know. No wonder why my thing has viruses. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, when I watched this movie, I was so disappointed with this movie. And I know some of you guys who are watching this in the comments are just going to be like, okay, what about, like, what it's like the sexuality in here in this movie, because I don't want to go too into it, but this is officially, I believe, there was a whole book, the main actor is, it's the gayest horror movie ever to exist. I think the actor who played the character in here is gay. Now, I have no problem against that at all. It's not my cup of tea, but I don't feel like it shows in this movie. Like some scenes do for me, but I can just tell some of the tone is just really well fleshed out a little bit. I don't really know, because I don't really want to comment on that, because I know people have. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just letting you know it's not my cup of tea. So, with that out of the side, the movie itself, it was such a step down from A Nightmare on Elm Street. It was so devastating to me. I remember watching the second movie and me like, I don't want. I wish I never knew there were sequels. I'm not going to continue. That's literally was my mindset at the second movie of the franchise. And I just remember being so disappointed because they turned. Actually, they made Freddy more darker and gritty and scarier, which I can appreciate. Actually, I take that back. I was going to say it was more a little goofy and funny, but I remember, yeah. There's just like a lot of unnecessary scenes, I feel like, too. Like the fucking cool scenes when he's like killing people at the. Now, this is the most kills that are in the franchise. The gore's alright. There's very unnecessary scenes with like ass cheeks, and it's just. That's where some of that sexual kind of innuendo shows. And I was like uncomfortable in some scenes. I'm like, oh fucking god, like really? Why do they gotta show that? And it's like I said, it's not my cup of tea. The story overall though is fairly okay. Like I said, I like the creativeness of how they brought Freddy back. Like, he ends up bursting out of this guy's chest. I don't remember if he dies or not. I don't think so. But basically because this guy ends up dreaming about Freddy. And Freddy is him. Which, right there, cool concept. I would have been sold out. But, man, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. This movie is just not my cup of tea. I just remember being so fucking disappointed with this movie because it went from like top tier fucking like one of the best horror movies of all time, literally still one of the best horror movies of all time. I love A Nightmare on Elm Street. The original is literally fucking it's so good, but it went all the way down to like fucking Jason Takes Manhattan level. I'm sorry. I know some of you are like, boo, like, probably, but, like, that's just my opinion. I just remember being so disappointed. And I was at an age where I was just, like, like, I didn't necessarily understand a lot of stuff, but I still understood that movie, and I just remember still being super fucking disappointed about it. So, not my cup of tea. It's just not my movie. And it's a huge step down from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Coming in next. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Now this one is pretty cool. Now I'd say this is where I actually slightly enjoyed most of these movies. Now the fourth one takes right after Dream Masters, or sorry, Dream Warriors, and I like how they continue their story and stuff. But oh my god, I have never, ever been so pissed off at a decision in my whole entire life as I was in this movie. I believe it's this movie. I believe, yeah, I think it's The Dream Master. Oh my god. I gotta look this up quick. Okay guys, that's what I thought. I thought it was this movie. But there was a decision in one of these movies. I'll get to it in a second, but it's so bad, okay? In the fifth movie, I remember it mostly being about the Dream Child. So I believe it was this movie. And I remember Dream Warriors. But basically, I have never been so pissed about a decision in my whole entire life. And the way they resurrect Freddy, okay, this altogether is just such a bad fucking idea. Why would they do that? Freddy's bones get pissed on by a dog in a dream sequence, and he gets ended up resurrecting from the dead, which, stupid as it is, but I was just like, okay, whatever. And I didn't think they were going to do it. And I have never been so mad. They built up the Dream Warriors just to fucking kill them off. Every single Dream Warrior from the last movie, they kill off in this movie in the most dirty and disgusting ways possible, while also trying to make new ones. Why the fuck would they do that? Why would they do... Just why? Because here's the thing. We like Dream Warriors, right? That is a good standout in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But we enjoy these characters. But you're just going to kill them all at the next movie, and then you're going to introduce new characters. I know you want to freshen up, but you built up so much character development just to kill them off in the most disgusting... And I swear, if these actors got underpaid, I would have been so pissed. I would have been like, fuck this. Like, I can't believe one of the actors or actresses didn't look at that script and say, hey, I don't think this is beneficial for the fucking movie because the fans, that would just be me. Me as an actor, if I were a Dream Warrior, I would just tell the director right away, no, we shouldn't do that. And if you're gonna want to kill us in this because, go ahead, I'm out. That's what I would have done. I would have told the director straight to his face, that is the worst idea. Now, if we didn't like them, I wouldn't care as much, but Dream Warriors ended up being a really good Nightmare on Elm Street, and for them just to kill them off right away in this one is just such a disappointment. And I don't think this movie's creative at all. It's so disrespectful to the Dream Warriors. But these new characters that we see aren't even as fun. The only one that is actually a badass is one of the newer characters now. That was a really fun idea with her with the nunchucks and shit and fighting Freddy, getting ready for that. But just like I can't get over the loss of the fucking Dream Warriors while we got this chick trying to fight off Freddy. Like, it's not creative. It's too convoluted. They killed off some of the best characters in the franchise. Although I did enjoy this one more than the others, I still think that is the most disrespectful decision that they've ever made in this whole franchise. And I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive this movie for it. I remember being so pissed off, literally when Freddy Krueger's went into that guy's chest. My soul dropped. I'm like, okay, him, I don't really care. Don't kill the rest. And then I remember they killed the rest, and I was just like, oh, fucking great. Some of the gore in this movie, really good. Really well done. Really creepy, eerie. Freddy's at his silliest, probably. I guess those are good and positives, but the only reason why it's in this place is because I enjoyed it more than the other three, even though it was one of the most disrespectful decisions of all time, probably, in horror history. Alright, coming in next. Now, a lot of you guys might disagree with this, and you guys can. You are entitled to your own opinion, but Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is right here. And let me tell you why. I think they actually casted Freddy really well. Now hear me out, okay? The director, before he released this movie, he was telling people that this is going to be a darker and grittier story and version of Freddy Krueger. So bringing Robert Englund back would not work. And getting another actor that's close to Freddy Krueger, it wouldn't match the performance. But from what this guy, I don't remember his name, but he's Rorschach in fucking Watchmen. I just found that out, and I'm like, they must have looked at his performance and saw, like, that's our fucking Freddy Krueger, man. Because I actually think the actor did seriously underrated performance in horror history. I give this man credit because he is a different version of Freddy Krueger. He's not the version Robert Englund is. So when people shit on his performance, you people gotta look at how different these Freddy Kruegers are. I mean, one's like very, very sick and disturbing, which is this one. And Robert Englund, his version is sick too, but he's like more goofy and over the top and pulling one-liners. But this one's just dark, gritty, relentless, sick, twisted. Stills pulls one-liners, but however, it's a lot more sick and gross. And I know people don't like that kind of tone with this movie. That's the problem they have with this movie. It's sick. It's disgusting how he treats the kids. But if you hate a horror icon that much, I think you're winning. That's a win-win in my opinion. Because a horror icon, you're not, you even though they're iconic, you're not rooting for the villains in any horror movie. You want to see the survivors survive. And I just felt like this guy had a lot of shoes to fill. This guy knew he wasn't going to be no Robert Englund. However, he knew he could do his own Freddy Krueger, and that's exactly what he did. So, movie, all right. I don't mind it at all. I think it's a very good predecessor to its original. It's just like the original, basically, just kind of remastered, like a song, if you know what I mean. I actually really, really enjoyed this. I think it was a lot more fun to watch than some of the other ridiculous films. And for a remake, I think this stands out as one of the best remakes, in my opinion. I mean, it's no fucking Friday the 13th remake, which is better than the original, and this is by far not better than the original. But this is a great standout to me, in my opinion, and it's more of the stuff I like. It's dark, gritty. I like it. Some of the characters are a little iffy. Like, some of the character development is pretty bad in here. Quentin, I know his character in here is a very loved character, which I can understand. He's the likable guy. He has that charm. And the last two characters in here are actually enjoyable to follow. And that's the problem where the rest of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies have, is that when they have a protagonist, they're not really enjoyable to follow, but these two sell it. Like, I want to see these guys survive. And yeah, I think this movie was dark, gritty, and it's not by all means better than the original, but I do think it's a good copycat of the original. Now, when you're making a remake, do whatever you want with it. You make it your own thing, but sometimes when you do that, you disrespect the franchise and its legacy. So that's why this movie is just a copycat and it's a remake. So I don't even know why they make remakes in general, not just with horror, but in general. Like, I don't understand the version of remakes. Like, just reboot it. Just, it's kind of remaking it. Just be done with that version. Have a new actor and it's different. Just, I don't know, but I do like this movie. I thought it was okay. And it's a lot more enjoyable than fucking Freddy's Dead. Oh my god. Don't even get me started. Okay. Coming in at number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street, New Nightmare. Now, this one, super surprising. And fun fact, this was actually Robert Englund's favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. So, shout out to him. Guys, I did not have high hopes for this. I did not. But, fuck, man. They fucking did it. They fucking did it. I don't know how. Because the whole franchise was just going down in the trash. But this single movie here, I'm telling you, brought my hopes back up. And that's why when I was watching Freddy's Dead, I had hope. But, fuck, it was gone. It was just like, fuck. And I watched these in like chronological order too. So, this movie is actually really well done. They bring back Nancy, and it's kind of a meta movie. It's like Freddy Krueger is a parody film, but he actually ends up being real. Now, Freddy Krueger in this movie, I like how they handle him. He's not coming back in a ridiculous manner. It's not actually Freddy Krueger. Spoiler alert, who's Freddy Krueger? It is a demon copying Freddy Krueger's look and design. And I like his new fucking design. His new claws and stuff is just awesome. And the kid acting, it's actually pretty good. Well done, kid. Awesome job. Oh, not a kid anymore, but great job, man. Like, I genuinely was shocked about how good this movie was. The pacing's good. The ending is fucking creative. I love it. Nancy is such an amazing character in this franchise. She brings so much energy and life to this franchise, and that's exactly what she did in here. Best performance yet. But man, I just remember being genuinely shocked about this movie, and it was just a huge surprise in my opinion. Coming in at number 2. Oh, I didn't think it was gonna be here, but I Am Around Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. This movie was so fucking fun, man. Oh my god, I remember jumping up and down and shit. Oh, I don't think a sequel in horror history has got me this pumped what this movie did. Like, even though Freddy Krueger, by this point, pulling one-liners and shit, they're actually fucking good. Like, they're actually creative. They're not just, like, puns that make no sense. This movie, really well done. I don't know who directed this one. I don't know if the original returned, but whoever directed this, fucking genius. It takes place in a mental institution, and Nancy is the therapist at this mental institution, so you get introduced to these characters, and like I said, the pacing and how this movie's just written is really well done, so you get to sit with these characters, get to know them, get to know their disabilities, get to know what they dream about. Some of the kills in here are just fucking gnarly and stuck with me for so long, and the movie's pacing is perfect, and it's dark. I like it a lot. It can get a little goofy at some points, but it knows. I feel like the movie knows when it's being goofy, and it kind of stops at a certain point in time, and it's like, okay, let's hold ourselves back here a little bit more. Let's tell a bit more story, and then kind of build that up again and bring it back. You know, it's just kind of, yeah, it's all over the place, but it's a lot of fun to sit through this movie. I think, honestly, if they stopped after this movie, I'd be okay with it, because it was a good conclusion to the first 3 movies. Now, the heartbreaking thing about this movie is Nancy actually dies in this, which sucks. Killed her off way too soon. Now, you guys are probably thinking, oh, that other decision is the worst decision. This is the worst decision. I actually don't think so. I think if they legitly ended the franchise here, I really think that would be a good conclusion, because Nancy can rest in peace and Freddy's fucking dead. And I felt like that could have been awesome. That literally, this could have been an okay horror trilogy just with 3 movies, but hey, just money, money talks. But this movie was absolutely amazing. Fucking amazing. It's just so good. So good. And I just remember me jumping up and down and shit, like I was on the edge of my seat. So, but coming in at number 1. It's obvious, guys. The original Nightmare on Elm Street. Guys, this movie is so well done. The concept itself of a man getting killed and coming in your dreams when you sleep, and if he kills you in the dream realm, you get killed in real life, is fucking horrifying to think about. And for them to take that concept, do it so well in such a horror classic, is one of the best talents I have ever seen. Wes Craven, rest in peace, man, because what a fucking beautiful soul, man. This movie is such an instant classic. This movie is so well done. Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund has one. I don't think they could have done it better. Robert Englund is fucking born for this role. Every time he is on screen, it's amazing. And till this day, this movie came out in the fucking 80s, I think. 90s. 80s. 80s. 70s. 81. I don't know. Anyway, till this day, guys, Edge of my seat. Edge of my freaking seat. Can't even explain, guys, how I feel about this movie, because I have such a. I saw this when I was really young. I think this was one of the first horror movies I have ever watched, like, legitly the first one I remember watching. Now, the first horror movie I saw in theaters was Annabelle Creation. And I don't know if you guys actually know this about me. I never liked horror movies. And I remember being fucking terrified as this when I was little. And I think this was the first horror film I ever got introduced into. And I just remember being fucking scared shitless. And now looking back at it, it's like I conquered my fear. I can watch it and enjoy it because of how well the cast did in this movie. And it's such a shame that the director passed away. He made such a legacy of this character. Not just this, but inspired and did so much for the horror industry. With his creative mind and with his amazing plans for horror history, he did so well. And he is the creator of A Nightmare on Elm Street, man. This movie hits every fucking time I watch it. I don't think I will ever get sick of this movie. I don't think any Freddy Krueger movie will beat this levels of how good this movie was. This movie was absolutely phenomenal. Such an instant horror classic. And till this day, Freddy Krueger, in some way, has an effect in all of our dreams. But it hasn't killed us quite yet. So guys, that's it. That's my ranking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure in the hell did. I loved watching every single one of these movies. Some of the movies. And what horror franchise should I do next? Now, I do have plans to release a Child's Play ranking, plus the TV series and stuff like that. But I need to wait till season 3 comes out for that. But it's coming out soon. Until then, let me know what horror franchises I should review next. Thought of Pinhead. There's a bunch out there, right? But I have not seen Pinhead or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've only seen the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first 3 Hellraiser movies. So guys, if you pick one of those, that would be fucking amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you guys sticking for however long that was. So thank you for your time, and see you next time. Shuna, goodbye. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, never sleep again.